Hello everyone, my name is David. Today we are going to take a look at another real story with you. We often complain and talk about how the police investigate cases, how when a case is handed over to the CBI, it ends up buried and forgotten. The same goes for our judiciary. Courts are no different. These things are commonly said, but the real question is, how is a case actually investigated? How is a case quietly closed? How is the truth buried forever? This story is a perfect example of how CBI and police officers conduct dishonest investigations, especially when they need to protect powerful people. Today's case that you're about to hear is the best example of that. Not because the media or people like you and me are making accusations, but because two high court judges have said all of this in their ruling. These two high court judges stated that the CBI is not honest, their hands are not clean, and they buried the truth. The police completely botched the investigation. The basic investigation that should have been done wasn't even carried out, and because of this helplessness, we had to let go of the murder accused. If you listen to the court's comments, which I will share with you shortly, you'll understand for yourself. But my intention isn't just to share the comments, it's to help you understand the deeper truth through this one case. In our country, when an investigation takes place, whether by the police or the CBI, what kind of investigation is it really? And why does its outcome turn out the way it does? Why is the conviction rate so low? Why is the police and CBI often under scrutiny? This is the best example, the story of Amit Jethwa, a resident of Gujarat. Near Gujarat, there's a district called Amreli. In a small village there lived a family of three siblings, their father and mother. From childhood, Amit was all bright in studies and driven by a passion to do something good for society. Then he pursued an LLB degree and also studied pharmacy. Eventually, he got a job in a pharmaceutical company, but while working there, he noticed that medicines were being sold mainly to private companies. He raised his voice against this. In response, he was transferred to a remote and isolated location. However, he had a strong revolutionary spirit and chose to resign from the job. After that, he dedicated himself to social work. He began working in the Gir forests of Gujarat, which are famous for their lions. There, he started raising concerns about the mysterious deaths of several lions. Investigations followed. He also raised his voice in the Black Buck case. It's said that in the earlier case in Jodhpur, where a 5-year sentence was given, Amit Jethwa played a significant role. There was also a film, Lagan, which was shot in Bhuj. In it, black bucks were allegedly used in violation of the Wildlife Act. He brought this issue to court as well, and the matter proceeded through the legal system. So he kept doing many things, and gradually he found out that the RTI right to information had come into effect. Through the right to information, he started gathering information about corrupt officials, especially forest officers, and also about the lions and the illegal mining happening around the Gir forest. He began working on exposing all of this. As he got deeper into this work, powerful people became his enemies. Once, there was even a deadly attack on him, and he had to stay in the hospital for 3 months. But slowly, he didn't back down from his work. Around that time, Amit Jethwa received a report that in the famous Gir forest, there was illegal deforestation and mining happening in and around the forests. He started reporting and filing complaints about it. Amit Jethwa also filed an RTI on the matter. After filing the RTI, he took the matter to court, and the court issued an order. Up to this point, everything was fine. His family was receiving threats, but he stayed focused on his work and made a name for himself as an RTI activist. He was just 32 or 33 years old at the time. But then Amit Jethwa made a mistake. The RTI he had filed was about illegal mining taking place around the Gir forest, and the ones running this mining operation were not just ordinary people, They were the most powerful figures in that region. The name was Dinu Solanki. Dinu Solanki was a powerful politician who had risen through the ranks via the mining and liquor business. He became an MLA and then an MP. From 2009 to 2014, he was elected as a member of parliament. All the information uncovered through the RTI pointed to Dinu Solanki's involvement in the illegal mining. Once the RTI report came out, the police were forced to take action and raid the mining sites. They seized all the equipment used in the operation. But here's the shocking part. Despite being in police custody, all the equipment was somehow stolen and ended up back with the original owners. When this came to light, Amit Jethwa again went to court. That's when he and his family started receiving serious threats. When the threats started coming in, he kept fighting stubbornly. His family tried to convince him, saying that these were powerful people and could do anything, but Amit Jethwa didn't back down. This was around July 2010. He had filed an RTI regarding illegal mining near the Gur area. The RTI report came out, and based on that report, he filed a case in court. The first name mentioned in that case was Dinu Solanki, who at the time was a sitting member of parliament. The court reviewed the RTI report and then ordered a case to be filed. The order was that the MP, his nephew, and others involved in this mining operation should be investigated. The police were instructed to stop all such illegal activities. This illegal mining issue became a major topic and started getting media attention, all because of the RTI Amit Jethwa had filed. After that, the threats against him escalated. Then came the date July 20th, 2010. After the case was filed against Dinu Solanki, Amit Jethwa went to the Gujarat High Court in Ahmedabad for the hearing and to follow up with his lawyer. He went there in the morning for the court hearing. The threats had become so intense that he and his family had left their hometown of Junagadh and moved to Ahmedabad, thinking at least in a big city they would get some protection and stay safe. That day, he arrived at the High Court. As soon as he was coming out from inside the High Court, two men suddenly arrived on a motorcycle right near the gate of the same High Court campus and started firing. Amit Jethwa was shot, but despite being hit, he showed incredible courage. He chased after the attackers. While chasing, he managed to grab one of their tunic dot. The bike fell over and a piece of the kurta remained in his hand. Even though there was a police vehicle nearby and officers were present, no one ran to help. They just stood there watching the shooting unfold. The person who got shot was the one chasing the attackers. Somehow Amit Jethwa grabbed part of the tunic, which caused the motorcycle to fall. The attackers then easily ran away on foot. The police didn't bother trying to catch them. After that, a crowd gathered. The police saw that someone was injured and went through the motions. Amit Jethwa was taken to the hospital, but by then he had already died. Now, since it was a shooting death, the police's responsibility should have been to investigate the incident, wait for the family to arrive, take statements, and file an FIR. This is the kind of law we have. Instead of asking who the enemy was or what their motives were, the moment a murder happens, the police start their game. When Amit Jethwa was killed, the police didn't wait for his family who lived in Ahmedabad. They immediately filed an FIR, stating that these were the attackers and they committed the murder. This news reached his father, Bika Bhai Jethwa. He already knew the family had been receiving threats for a long time. Once, people associated with the member of parliament had beaten him so badly that he was hospitalized for 3 months. Multiple reports had been filed with the police. They had even asked for protection. All the documents were there showing that this man posed a threat, that he had attacked him and had threatened to kill him. Dinu Solanki had even openly threatened him in a public rally. There were records and proof of that too. So the murder took place right outside the High Court gates, but in the FIR, the police didn't name anyone. When Bika Bhai went to the police, he said, My son was receiving threats, even the MP was involved. He told them everything. Then the family started receiving threats. Your son is dead, now stay silent. Don't file any case, don't mention any names or you'll all be killed one by one. While the rest of the family was afraid, the old father was not. Perhaps when a young son's funeral is carried on an old father's shoulders, there is no greater sorrow. Compared to that, all other threats and fears seemed small to him. He said, "I will not be afraid," and he fought on, running from court to court. Eventually, the media picked up the story and the MP's name started coming out. The police had to register an FR. When the FR was filed, the first two names that came up included one police officer who was actually stationed at the gate at that time, and the second was the name of a shooter who had been hired for the job. The constable's name was Bahadur Singh, and it was alleged that he was present at the scene and had arranged the shooter. Now imagine this. A police officer on duty outside the court is involved, and the other person who was caught was the shooter who had been hired. Later, a tunic was found, and a label was discovered on it. The label was from a tailor shop located in Unagad, which is the same area represented by the Member of Parliament in question. Many connections started surfacing. Due to increasing media pressure and allegations that attempts were being made to protect the MP, the Gujarat police handed over the case to their crime branch. Initially, the FAR was registered without much inquiry, but once the crime branch took over the case, they based their investigation on the tunic and quickly listed the names of 6 people to calm public outrage and show the media that an investigation was being conducted. They named Shiva Solanki, nephew of MP Dinu Solanki, as the main accused and mastermind behind the conspiracy. Shiva Solanki was arrested. Along with him, Constable Bahadur Singh was also arrested. Additionally, the shooter and his associate, who was seen riding a bike on the day of the incident, Shailesh Pandey, were also taken into custody. In total, 6 close associates were arrested. Now, the Gujarat Crime Branch's report states that Shiva Solanki hired 2 contract killers to carry out the murder. One was Shailesh Pandey, and the other was Bakan Silva. And the task of hiring these shooters on rent was assigned to Constable Bahadur Singh. These individuals were involved in the conspiracy and we managed to catch them. But now, will Amit's father accept it? Of course not. Everything started getting messed up again. He went back to court and said, "Sir, the real killer was first ignored by the police, then by the crime branch. Now tell us, how is it believable that the nephew of a man is behind this entire conspiracy? But we're not questioning the uncle's role. What direct reason did the nephew have to kill this person? There must be someone else who gave the order. There must be someone else whom he saw as a threat." Now, the man in question is a member of parliament involved in illegal mining and other activities in that area. The nephew is an accused, but the uncle gets a clean chit. And the Gujarat Crime Branch gave the Honorable MP a clean chit, saying he had no connection with the murder of Jethwa, that it was all done by his nephew on his own. So now, is the nephew such a noble person that he saw his uncle worried and decided on his own to eliminate the trouble? Hired contract killers on his own? Found shooters on his own? Got the murder done on his own? Where does this even make sense? Anyway, Jethwa's elderly father approached the High Court. And in the High Court he said, "At least ensure justice to the extent that those whose names are being taken are not just handed clean chits without proper investigation." The Gujarat High Court reviewed the report and, for the first time, reprimanded the Gujarat police. The court said, "You people have completely sold out your integrity. Not a single part of this investigation was done honestly." So the court ordered that the investigation be handed over to the CBI. The findings of the previous investigation will be considered, but now the CBI will conduct the probe. Time passed. In 2013, the CBI began its investigation, and finally, in 2013, Dinu Solanki, the Honorable MP, was arrested from Delhi. After this, the CBI filed 4 new charges sheet. In this second set of charges sheet, it was stated that the real prime accused, the mastermind behind the entire case, is none other than MP Dinu Solanki. Along with him, others, including his nephews, were involved. The story remains the same, that they arranged 2 shooters to kill Jethwa because they were troubled by his RTI queries. Reports on illegal mining kept coming out through Jethwa in the media. The government was pressuring them, and they took advantage of this enmity to remove Jethwa from the way. Now the 4 charge sheets were filed, and in 2019 the CBI court gave its verdict. The verdict was that all 7 accused were sentenced to life imprisonment. It felt like a victory for the law. Justice was served, and Jethwa's family truly got justice. Their elderly father got justice. Jethwa's brother, his wife. Everyone was very happy. They all thanked the honorable judge and said at least the murderer of their son got punished. But unfortunately, this happiness lasted only for a moment. The CBI court's verdict was then challenged by Solanki, so the case reached the Gujarat High Court. The lower court had given its verdict in 2019. After that, the case went to the Gujarat High Court. 5 years passed, and after 5 years, on May 6, 2024, the Gujarat High Court gave its verdict. The Gujarat High Court acquitted all 7 accused, including the former MP. The court said that the truth of this case has now been buried forever. So neither will the truth come out, nor will judges be able to punish all of them. From now on, whatever judge say will mostly be the court's words. The first thing the court said is that this truth has been buried forever. The 2 judges, both our justices, stated in their verdict that the way the Gujarat police first and then the CBI conducted the investigation clearly shows that there is doubt about their honesty or integrity. You always hope and doubt that they did their work honestly. Then the High Court said that the officers involved did not conduct the investigation according to the proper standards. The court said that each of them failed in their duties, whether police, CBI officers, or public prosecutors. They all failed to honestly perform their responsibilities. The government lawyers, during cross-examinations, dismissed all the witnesses that came. During cross-examination by the public prosecutors, it appeared as if the witnesses had not prepared at all. It was just a waste of time. No serious effort was made to collect relevant evidence or connect it to the case. The police gave protection to all the witnesses in this case, and they enjoyed that protection, but their testimonies were not convincing to the court. Police officers were caught going to the market together, but when it came to the case, they disregarded the law and gave no testimony that could have helped solve the case. Out of 195 witnesses, 105 were hostile from the start. The court said that the public prosecutors and others failed to properly cross-examine the remaining witnesses. Many witnesses changed their statements in court. Initially, they admitted to being threatened, but later claimed they didn't know anything. Some said shots were fired outside the court. Others said they never heard anything. All this is documented in order. Furthermore, there was a witness named Rama Bai Solanki, considered a key witness who could have helped convict the accused, but he himself fell under suspicion because he stayed silent for 2 years and then suddenly turned into a witness. This raised the question of whether he was really a witness, or if the police and CBI created him to weaken their case or to benefit someone. Even more striking is that the entire conspiracy to commit the murder was said to have been planned at one place, the farmhouse mentioned in the charge sheet and FA. This farmhouse, allegedly owned by an MP, was the site where shooters and other arrangements were made. Yet, the CBI officer never bothered to investigate or even visit that farmhouse. The court said it's surprising that the CBI didn't check if the farmhouse actually belonged to the MP or someone else. How can any agency properly investigate without verifying the ownership of the key location? The court said that CBI never went to the farmhouse, the place that could have provided the most crucial evidence. Even you can understand how important it is to check that place. The most shameful part, the court said, is that after the murder, a phone linked to the RTI activist Amit Jethwa was with him and was known to police and CBI. It was in the FIR that the phone was in Amit's pocket. The investigation should have included checking calls made or received in the 24 hours before the murder to find clues or uncover conspiracy layers. But neither the Gujarat police nor the CBI tried to examine the call records or data from that phone. They never touched it. In fact, the court commented that the CBI and police handled this investigation as if they were trying to fit square pegs into round holes, trying to force evidence to fit their narrative rather than following the truth. They neither investigated the phone nor visited the farmhouse, nor presented witnesses properly. They spent money protecting witnesses who just laughed and walked away. And this is how the case ended. In their final verdict, the judges said something very important. The existence of our democracy and the unity and integrity of the nation depend on the awareness that constitutional morality and legitimacy are as essential as constitutional legality. Righteousness resides in the hearts of the people, and when that dies, no constitution, law, or amendment can save the nation. This judgment includes strong criticism of the CBI and police investigation, showing that when powerful people decide to protect someone, the case is ruined. This judgment and the judge's comments should be heard by all agencies and police so that maybe some shame arises and future investigations are conducted honestly. But for now, the reality is that the RTI activist, Amit Jethwa, who went out to reform society at the age of 35, did not get justice. Maybe his father will continue fighting in the Supreme Court, but what happens there is uncertain because the High Court has already said the whole truth has been buried. So how will the buried truth ever come out? We will see in time. So this was today's story. Thank you for joining us on this journey today. We hope you enjoyed the content and found it valuable.